I'm Ricc Rollins coming to you from the Riverwalk, and we're going places. Don't you want to come along? Let's go. Hello and welcome to this edition of Going Places. Thanks for joining us. I hope your morning's amazing. We're coming to you today from the Tampa Riverwalk. Here's what's coming up on today's show. We'll talk with author Kristen Hare about her book, 100 Things to Do in Tampa Before You Die. We'll continue our conversation with Jessica Ryan Rollins about smooth transitions and next moves, making the transition from high school to college, but not only for the student, but the parents as well. Our special correspondent, Mayor Jane Castor, introduces us to the C-Trek program and some young people whose lives will be changed forever. And, of course, we're cruising with Karima in part 3 as we go to San Juan, Puerto Rico. All of this and more coming up on this edition of Going Places. Guess what? And it starts right now. Kristen Hare has the job that most people would want. Between her and Lauren Gay, they're going places. She is the author of 100 Things to Do in Tampa Bay Before You Die. I love the title. And here to talk about the third edition, congratulations, about the book, is the one and only Kristen Hare. It's been a minute, and I'm glad we finally made this happen.
Yes. Hi, Rick. I'm so excited to be talking with you today.
Okay. I was in Barnes & Noble, and I saw your book, and I said, so how's the book doing? He said, we can't keep it in stock. So congratulations. I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
So I was reading in your bio that you were a journalist ever since high school, junior high school?
High school.
High school. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the day you decided, I want to do this.
So, I mean, really, I first fell in love with writing.
Mm.
In the fourth grade in Missouri, I won a reflections writing contest.
Oh, wow.
And it was the first, I mean, it was just like at my school, but it was the first time I realized that I was good at something and wanted more of that. So, started to write as much as I could, poems and diaries and, things that little girls do. And my dad said to me, if you're going to be a writer, you should be a journalist so you can get paid, which looking back was really bad advice because journalism is a tough industry, but great advice because it pushed me into discovering telling real stories about real people. So I took the journalism class in high school as soon as I could. And when I realized that, reality was so much more interesting than fiction, I was hooked and I never looked back.
That is amazing. And then you also spent 2 years in the Peace Corps?
Yes. So I felt like when I was graduating from journalism school, I knew I wanted to spend the rest of my life telling other people's stories. And I felt like if I was going to do that, I should have some adventures of my own first, which was really, maybe wise and also pretty naive because my life since then, 20 years later, has been even more full of adventures. But I served in Guyana in South America for 2 years. I was a high school teacher and I met my husband there.
Well, thank you for your service. And yet, I just think it's amazing that when someone makes up in their mind, I'm going to take the road less traveled and by my friends and my family, and it works.
Yes.
It works. And
yeah,
you met the man of your dreams. You have the career that you love, and you've written this book that everybody in Tampa Bay needs to have a copy of, and it needs to be a gift it's the perfect hostess gift.
Yes.
You go
gift, teachers.
Yes.
When people come that are new to town, you want to welcome a neighbor. It's great for all of those things.
So let's talk about some of those 100 things that we should do before we die. Tell me the one that when somebody says, where should I go? What's the first place you say?
I always say Medard Park in Plant City. So yes. And so this is a place that I discovered when I was reporting the first book. And, when you're a reporter, you're nosy and you talk to strangers. It's an excuse to talk to everybody. And so I heard about this, and the woman who suggested it said, oh, well, has anybody told you about Medard Park in Plant City? And I said, no, why should we go there? And she said, for the trees. So I was like, okay, I'll check it out. So I drive up there with my son, Max, who was then 5. He's now 15 and about to start
Wow.
high school. And I pull up and it's like $3 cash. And I say to the guy it's a county park. And I say to the guy at the window, I'm here for the trees. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like, someone sent me here for the tree. I'm in a park, right? Like there's trees everywhere. And he looks at me and he says, take your second left. And I was like, oh, so there is something about trees here. So Medard Park is a reclaimed phosphate mine.
Wow.
And in the 50s, they planted a bunch of oak trees on, phosphate mines have hills where they do the mining. And so they took those hills and they planted a bunch of oak trees on them. And over time and all of our rain, all of the soil has eroded and the roots of the trees are above ground. It's the coolest thing.
I have got to. Now you are making me want to go because I love trees. When I was younger, I used to sketch trees all the time.
They're so enchanting.
It is. I can't wait. I gotta go.
So my advice is take cash because it's cash only to get in. It's like $3 a car. Wait until it cools down and the rain stop because right now it's just going to be a mud pit.
Okay.
And, yep. Wear good shoes, and it's your second left on Sacred Hills Drive. You'll get to see
second left. I got it. Second left. Okay, so tell me when you think of what epitomizes Tampa Bay, what's that?
I think it's really Ybor City for me, and and it's culture. And one of the things I think that people don't appreciate enough about Tampa and St. Pete and all of the cities that make up Tampa Bay is how distinct they all are and how each has this really rich culture and history. And so my favorite thing to do is to dig into those, is to visit the old hotels, to go on the JC Newman cigar tour. That factory is so cool to go visit. Go to La Segunda and get a guava pastry or some fresh bread.
Yes. Yes.
And I think that the best thing you can do, and I wrote this book for locals. I think tourists enjoy it when they come, but my favorite thing to hear from people is, I didn't know about this. That's what I was about to say,
is that there are things that you were telling me about Ybor City, and I'm a native.
Yeah.
And so therefore I thought, so this is
easy to get settled into our ruts and to have your 5 favorite places that you go. And that's fine. I mostly go to the 5 favorite places, but when you're up for an adventure, get out and see your city. And the best way to do it is, if you can, take a walking tour. Pay somebody to take you on a tour, even if it's a ghost tour. You will learn so much history about this place we live.
Kristen, I can't wait to talk to you again. We're already out of time, but I'll tell you what, let's do this. Let's go on and we're going to tape a second segment so we can have it for next week. We're going to talk about those top 5 things that you talked about. You don't want to go away. Next week, Kristen comes back for more Going Places, and we're going to continue to talk right after this. When we come back, we continue our conversation with Jessica Ryan Rollins about next moves right after this. Hi, it's Ricc Rollins, and I am so excited because Ricardo's has been nominated as one of the top 10 men's stores according to the Creative Loafing Best of the Bay competition. And I need your help. I need your vote. Here's how you do it. Step 1, go to cltampa.com. Once you're there, you'll click through to the Best of the Bay banner. Step 3, you'll locate Goods. You'll click through, and Step 4, you'll find Best Clothing Boutique Men's. Click through to that, and you'll find Ricardo's Menswear. That's where you'll cast your vote, and you're done. Thank you for voting. Now, would you do me one more favor? Tell everybody you know, and even strangers on the street, to vote for Ricardo's Menswear. We look forward to seeing you here at West Shore Plaza in the soon coming day for any of your style needs. And remember, this is where style begins. Take care. our conversation with Jessica Ryan Rollins about next moves and smooth transitions. Take a look. It's Proud Daddy Day right here. I am a girl dad and I love my daughter, Jessica Ryan Rollins. I've been wanting her to do this forever. And so she indulged her old man. And here we are. And I think that, first of all, you are doing a great job.
Well, thank you.
Obviously, you really are. So we were talking about leaving and preparing to go away to college. Lauren Gay talked earlier about being an empty nester. So I thought that this was a good follow-up. While you're going to experience that. Here's what you and your kids will experience together. So we talked about the fact that they need to be organized, that now adulting 101 is really going to have to take place, that they're going to have to make some decisions in life. But before we go back into your last 2 points, tell me what it was like when you got to the campus of the Florida State University.
That's right. Go Noles. It was an awesome experience. So I was ready to leave. I grew up in St. Petersburg. And at that time, the St. Pete we know today is not the St. Pete from, 20 years ago. Oh my gosh, just to even say that. So for me, I was really excited to have this time, this freedom that they talk about, really got involved in all the things that a college student did, but also during that time, I learned what failure looked like for the first time. You grow up, dad thinks I'm a star, which I appreciate. And you hear those things and you're always encouraged. But there were some lessons of like, I might not be good at something. What? What does that even mean? What does that mean? Right?
Because so, we in for you as well as myself, you go away. We were used to being stellar and stars in high school. And so you get to college, and I remember the phone call.
Yes.
Dad. And I'm like, what? You're like, I just don't think I can do this. And I'm like, yeah, you can. And when you said you couldn't, your mother and I had to both really say, okay, this is a part of life, and you made some decisions. And I think that they were the decisions for the best because
too much time. I wanted to have a great college experience, and at that time I was a biology major because of course there's three things: engineer, lawyer, doctor, right? So I knew I wanted to be a doctor, but the reason I wanted to do that was to help people. And I had an advisor say, Jessica, you don't need to be a doctor to help people. And that you take that, I know.
I said that, or did your daddy say that? I think your daddy said that too. Your mama said it. Your grandparents said it.
Right.
But the advisor gets the credit. Okay.
Right. So, but that's right. Your parents tell you something. Yeah. But when someone else, an outsider looking in, tells you that, it took a lot of the weight off, the burden that I put on myself. And then I found something that I really enjoyed and also got really connected to the campus at Florida State and had the most amazing time. And still my friends to this day are some of my best friends and some of the greatest memories that I've had.
And so I think that was one of the most important things that we went through in life, other than the loss of loved ones later in life. But watching you gain your own wings was a proud moment because the light bulb went off and you went for it. So parents, it's gonna be okay.
Yes.
And you know what? I think that if I had to add one, stop putting your dream their life.
Yes.
It can't be your dream for them. It has to be the dream that they have for themselves. As Oprah says, only God can dream a bigger dream for yourself. Parents would like to dream a bigger dream. Let that child figure out, because they're, as you said before, they're now really an adult or an adult rising. So let's go. So, but what happens in a lot of instances, and I think this is the great next point, is stress management. Go ahead.
Right. So with that, especially if they're in their junior, senior year of high school, it's a lot of things happening. College is being talked about. What will life look like after this? Relationships with their friends are changing. So it is really important as they're getting closer to leaving that you're kind of monitoring some of what's happening in the sense of look at those stress levels, right? This whole process is very overwhelming. Going to any next phase in life, there's going to be those times where you're stressed because the unknown is scary. So what I always like to tell parents and even the students that I work with is do some check-ins with yourself, making sure that you have the support you need, be open and honest, saying, I'm fine, I'm good, I got it. You have a village. It's
Don't.
really important that you're using that.
Mhm.
And then I tell parents, it's stressful. I've worked with students and their parents before, and the mom has called and said, I need you to get this child, right? And so having those conversations with parents, because they are overwhelmed, their baby's leaving, they're, but there's some excitement. So really be having those lines of communication open, asking how you can support them, and really, being that cheerleader. The other part of that with stress is looking to the left and looking to the right of what is happening. So their friends are getting so many accolades at the end of the year. They're getting those scholarships, those admissions letters are starting to come in. So that comparison trap starts to slowly trickle in, and they get, a little worried about, I'm not getting all those things. Will it ever happen for me? So it's really crucial that when you start to hear that, or you see that you're celebrating their victories, big or small.
Right.
You killed it on your ACTs. Good job. I know you studied so hard for that test. So acknowledging that the work that they're putting in at this time helps alleviate some of that stress for sure.
That's good. That's good. And in that, I heard, which brings us to our last point, shift happens.
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
say shift.
Shift. That's with an F. Yes.
Yes. Yes. With an F. Yeah. So let's talk about that real quick, because we're running a little long on time. Go ahead.
So with that, the parent-child dynamic is changing, right? So the mama bear, papa bear, you're always going to be those things, but they're grown-ish. We'll put the ish on
I
the end
love
of
it.
that,
Yeah, the
right?
goals. Yes.
Right. So they are grown-ish. And even looking at that from the standpoint as a college instructor, if a parent called me to try to fix a problem, I would say, unfortunately, ma'am, I can't have this conversation with you. Tell your child to come to my office hours. Let's talk about it. Those helicopter parents did not want to hear that, because they are used to, it is my baby. I got them here. Me.
I brought them into the world. Yeah.
So you're going to tell me some things, but by law, my job was to protect them and their records. So in that, instead of fixing the problem for them, be a part of the solution, guide and coach them. Your role is now still mom, still dad, but it's important that you look at yourself more as a guide, a coach, advisor to help them fix the problem. But we don't want you to be fixing the problem for them. But they're still going to call you. They're still going to want to know what you think and what they should do, but help them with some of those problem solving skills, because that will help them later in life as well.
I think, and I was thinking about this as you were saying that if they're going to go places, sometimes you're going to have to be the fuel. Sometimes you're going to have to be the spare tire, but you're going to have to allow them to go on their own.
Right.
Jessica Ryan Rollins, I am so proud of you.
Well, thank you.
Know more about you and your journey and all of that?
Sure. So I love doing one-on-one coaching. So have plenty of those opportunities available now, especially as your student might be tackling that application process. So you can find me via Instagram at JRR Coaching and Consulting, or you can also email me at jrrcoachingandconsulting@gmail.com.
Okay. Well, again, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, Dad.
Well done. Going Places continues right after this. 3, 2, 1. When we come back, Mayor Jane Castor introduces us to a group of young people that I think will leave quite the impression. Right after this.
Hi, I'm Arlene. Welcome to Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. What's your coffee saying? Whether in for business or just getting away, let Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks be a part of your day. Life is moving, visible with color, sound, and community. Enjoy a cup of coffee at Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. Enjoy life one cup at a time.
Hi, it's Ricc Rollins, and I am so excited because Ricardo's has been nominated as one of the top 10 men's stores according to the Creative Loafing Best of the Bay competition. And I need your help. I need your vote. Here's how you do it. Step 1, go to cltampa.com. Once you're there, you'll click through to the Best of the Bay banner. Step 3, you'll locate goods. You'll click through, and step 4, you'll find Best Clothing Boutique Men's. Click through to that, and you'll find Ricardo's Menswear. That's where you'll cast your vote, and you're done. Thank you for voting. Now, would you do me one more favor? Tell everybody you know, and even strangers on the street, to vote for Ricardo's Menswear. We look forward to seeing you here at West Shore Plaza in the soon coming day for any of your style needs. And remember, this is where style begins. Take care. Hello and welcome back to this edition of Going Places. I thank you for joining us this morning. Our special correspondent, Mayor Jane Castor, now introduces us to a program called C-Track that allows young people the opportunity to go where they've never gone before. Take a look.
This particular program, C-Track, is very exciting, as you will see. We're going to bring a lot of kids from our parks and recreation. Today's the first day of it, but we're going to bring in groups of kids that will be able to go down in the water and interact with the different species down there. So I'm excited to be with the first group of kids. I can't wait. It is an exciting opportunity for all of our kids in the city of Tampa, but most specifically for those kids that may not ever have this exposure. And you never know what light that may light within them, the passion or their skill. They may become marine biologists just based on the experience that they have today.
We exist to save wildlife from extinction. We exist to make our natural world and environment a better place. But we also want to make sure we can connect as many people as we can to the underwater world and that natural environment that we are, charged with protecting. We want to make sure that we're using this program as well as a community resource and asset. And why today is so special is bringing the kids in from the Tampa Parks and Rec Department.
I'm so glad that the city of Tampa has had an opportunity to participate in this and to allow these kids to participate in something that they otherwise may not have. It was amazing.
When I went down, I saw animals like fishes, sharks, turtles. The sand was soft. I had fun in there.
Well, it was real fun, especially when the shark came above my head. It was like a mini shark.
It was fun. Looking at all the sharks, fish.
It felt like we was walking on the moon, on the sand. And my favorite part was when the fish came up to my mask.
Like, I never thought I was going to be doing this. It was fun, and I love how the fish came up to my mask and started tapping it and stuff. And I like to see the sharks.
A special thanks to the City of Tampa Parks and Recs Department, the Mayor's Office, and of course, Mayor Jane Castor. To those young people, I am amazed by you and encouraged. Kudos to the Florida Aquarium and City of Tampa Parks and Recs for putting that program together. When we come back, we cruise with Karima. This time, San Juan, Puerto Rico is where we go.
San Juan is the capital of Puerto Rico and located on the northern coast of the island. Here is a view of Puerto Rico from the balcony of my stateroom, but you can also get a great view on the upper deck of the ship. This is Puerto Rico's Capitol building located at the entrance to the historic Old San Juan area. Across the street from the Capitol building is the Altar de la Patria. There's a monument dedicated to the history of Puerto Rico as well as the indigenous people. I highly recommend a guided tour because it will be helpful in explaining the message written on the wall. You will also see a bronze statue that represents the three ethnicities of Puerto Rico: Taino, Spanish, and African. Nearby is the Walkway of the Presidents. It celebrates all the presidents who visited Puerto Rico since the end of the Spanish-American War in 1898. Every statue is accompanied by a plaque that tells the historical context and purpose of the visit. We made a quick stop on the tour for a restroom break, then spotted a cart selling a delicious frozen treat that was perfect because the heat was no joke. We then walked around the area, which had amazing views of the beach. My boys found a few crabs walking on the rocks, and they were so excited. This was a perfect spot to take plenty of family pictures. We also enjoyed the nice breeze and spent time relaxing before heading back to the bus. Our final stop on the tour was a popular fort and cemetery in Old San Juan. We decided to enjoy a late lunch at a local restaurant that was recommended by our tour guide. I love the decor and the food was amazing. Everyone was happy with their meal. I decided to order the fried snapper, which was cooked to perfection. My boys were so fascinated by the whole fish sitting on my plate. Others in the group decided to try the mofongo, which is a popular dish in Puerto Rico. It was time to explore the island on our own. I love the colorful buildings. We got a chance to visit the Park of the Pigeons. It's a small outdoor area featuring park benches, scenic views, and a wall offering refuge to many pigeons. My son enjoyed the music played by the musicians nearby. I had to snap a few more pictures before heading back to the ship. We had such a wonderful time exploring San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Before we go, I want to thank the Mayor's Office for that amazing video on the C-Trek program. To the young people that appeared, know that I believe that your future is so bright that you're going to need shades every step of the way. To the guests that joined us this morning, we couldn't do this show without you, nor would we want to. And to each of you that viewed, know that we pray that your journey is blessed at every turn. We don't know where we're going to end up next, but I do know this. We always want you to be right here with us. For everyone here going places, remember that you can join us every Saturday and Sunday mornings in encore presentations at 5 a.m. And of course, in our new episodes every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. right here on Tampa Bay's MOR and on YouTube and streaming worldwide. For everyone here going places, I thank you. Until next time, take care.